Izuku watched as the landscape changed around him. It seemed as though he were in the desert, but upon closer inspection he saw that the ruined buildings that were being covered by the blowing winds and the howling sands. This was Japan itself, a version of Gotham long since forgotten to the very sands of time itself. Nothing but a distant memory. The vestige that was Rage Al Ghul formed a trail for Izuku to follow, traversing through the terrain of the land itself. But Izuku was warned not to touch anything there, and if so, it would lead to a certain demise. Izuku would glide, moving across various ruins and debris, before eventually arriving to the first stop, a large tower made of ice. Good. You have the detective's tenacity, but it will take more than that to complete the demon trials. What is all of this? Izuku asked, looking to the vestige that was Raish Al Ghul. This is the power of the demon that courses through your veins, the power that is keeping you alive. This very power I once offered to your master, although he staunchly refused. Foolish down till the end, and look at where that foolishness has led him. A house divided, a family destroyed, and a city on the brink of destruction. That is your master's legacy, and it appears a legacy you are doomed to follow. You're wrong. You think so? There's a lot that your master has not told you. A lot about his past. I'm sure he never claimed to be a saint, but sticking to his principles is what's led to the current state that the world is in. A disease called altruism, the way of the hero. It pales in comparison to the way of the assassin. The assassin does not discriminate. The assassin moves in silence and does what is required of him. In order to destroy the shadows, you must become a shadow. Your master, he merely adopted the darkness. But I have been trained by it, molded by it. The light is nothing more but a blinding lie, a lie that shields you from the truth. This society, this world is crumbling. Gotham will merely be the first to fall. It is on life support. And the bat has continued the status quo for far too long. And you are trending in that same direction. A direction that will lead you nothing but heartache and pain. A direction that will lead you to your own self-destruction, built on your false pretense of righteousness. The vestige would take shape once again, only turning into someone that Izuku was very familiar with. Mom? Izuku? Mom, why are you... Izuku, help me! The vestige of Izuku's mother would disappear, forming another trail. The sounds of her wailing and her screaming for help. Izuku found himself traversing through the land much faster than before, all while Raish would cackle in the background. Your feelings betray you, boy. You cannot deny it. You and your master are as far apart as the moon is from the earth. By the time Izuku arrived to the next platform, he saw what appeared to be his mother, surrounded by enemies. Get away from her! Izuku would arrive against the foes, cutting each one of them down, striking them decisively, with an intense ferocity that he had never once felt in his life. The feeling of threat all heightened to its max. Each enemy that he defeated would disappear, turning away into dust. Izuku turned to where his mother was, but she was gone. You cannot deny yourself, Izuku Midoriya. You have the potential to be far more, to be far greater than just that of a hero. Tell me, could you live with yourself if you let the ones closest to you die? Do you not believe that their lives are worth avenging? What? Of course But alas, you can't. Because you're bound by a code that your own master did not uphold. And do you want to know something truly tragic? The one time he broke his code, the one time he broke the one rule he swore to me that he would never break, the rule that kept him from taking his destiny, the rule that stopped him from achieving his greatness. He swore that he would never kill, that he would never take a life. And Lord knows, I tried to get him to see reason. It didn't matter how many lives the Joker took, that Penguin took, Two-Face, Croc, any of them. Even All for One. He couldn't strike them down. He couldn't kill them. And yet, the one time he chose to break that rule, the one time he chose to stand against his principles, the one time that he chose to betray everything that the mantle stands for, he did it against my own flesh and blood, my grandson. The bastard didn't even have the balls to kill me, the head of the demon, the League of Assassins. He would not strike me down, no matter how many times we clashed, no matter how many times we faced. He would never take his sword. But yet he had the nerve to strike down his son, my grandson, my legacy. What did you think you would achieve by coming here? That you would gain what you were looking for? The landscape around Izuku would change to an open field. It looked like the UA Sports Arena, only abandoned and decayed. The main ground covered in nothing but sand. The stands entirely empty and hollow. A broken statue of where All Might once was. And etched into stone, false hero. You were never going to gain what you wanted, Izuku Midoriya, or Batman, or whatever the hell you claim to be. No. I will take from the detective what he tried to take away from me. His precious student will die, and this will be your tomb, your grave mark. You will follow in the footsteps of the heroes you idolize, and you will join them in the grave. This is your reward. The sand would begin to morph, transforming into what appeared to be a giant-sized Raish Al Ghul, who started throwing large shurikens and throwing knives, Izuku moving and evading every which way. But in the center of the large landmass, there appeared to be someone sitting in the middle. Immediately, jutting from out of the sand, warriors, League of Assassin. We are Legion! The entire horde would jump onto Izuku, who would kick and push them all off at once, as he stood ready to face them all, entirely surrounded. His senses were heightened to their absolute max. He had to stand on guard at all times, and even taking a few hits himself. But even so, he continued to fight, all while Raish would attack from a distance and taunt him. Why do you continue to resist? It's pointless that you try. You will never live up to his legacy. And why should you? A legacy of failure. Failure is what you follow. You are no hero. You are merely a child who fights against the gravity of time. The illusion of believing that you can save everyone. That you are the protector, the guardian, the dark knight. Well, let me break it to you, Izuku Midoriya, and give you a dose of reality. Your master has failed this city, just as you will fail. Izuku watched as the faceless warriors started to gain a face. Uraraka, help me. Deku! Melissa? Nerd! Bakugo? Midoriya! Todoroki! No. You can't fool me. This is no trick. This is your reality. This is what awaits you. Your journey, your foolishness. This is where it leads you. Everyone you know and love, they will all die. And you will fall at the feet of the new demon. Izuku would find himself being kicked out of nowhere. And now there was only one warrior standing before him. A man in black, with a mask, half orange and half black. Deathstroke. Address him properly. He is the head of the demon. Damien Al Ghul. You knew this was coming, Midoriya. Damien would rush towards him. Out of desperation, Izuku would pick up a sword as the two of them would clash. Izuku being on the defensive as Damien would continue the onslaught. With each strike, the blows continued to feel heavier. Izuku felt himself getting slower, almost like he was moving in quicksand. He found it hard to breathe, as if his chest were being crushed by an unknown force. He started to remember the first and last time they met. How outclassed he was, how outskilled he was, how outpaced he truly was. He remembered the beating very vividly. It felt like a repeat of itself, as Damien started to beat him mercilessly. Izuku got to the point where he started to run. He ran from the outside arena into its inner walls. Within the dark corridors of the abandoned arena, he could hear Damien's sword scraping against the ground. Where do you think you're going? There's nowhere for you to run. Don't you understand? I am the master. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am the demon, Deathstroke. Izuku continued to run in fear. As he turned the corner, Deathstroke was right there waiting for him. Izuku would hold up his arms, using the wrist gauntlets, attempting to cover from the strike of the sword as he was knocked back. Damien continued his slow pace, slowly chasing behind him. Each time Izuku turned every few corners, it was like he was just there, until eventually he was surrounded, trapped within a hall of mirrors, Deathstroke surrounding him. There's nowhere for you to run. You cannot escape your fate. You will fall into the darkness. No, 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 no. Stop. Stay away. Stay back. Is it getting to you? It looks like he's going to cry. The big bad bat. Afraid. Pathetic. Weak. I can't believe my father chose you. You're an embarrassment. A shame. A disgrace. A failed legacy, perfect for a failure. Izuku, completely surrounded, found himself falling deeper and deeper into the darkness. Strangely enough, it felt satisfying, as if all of it was finally away, a lift of weight off of his shoulders. The anxiety, it was palpable. He just wanted it all to stop, just to let it go, just to end it. Izuku continued to fall until he felt himself crashing to the ground. The feeling of snow. It was winter. Izuku wasn't sure where he was. Why was he? Where was he? Off in the distance, he saw that he was in town. It looked like Gotham, but a little older. There was a movie theater. A little boy, accompanied by his parents. Come now, Bruce. If you keep running ahead of us, you're going to get taken away. Now, let the boy have his fun. He seemed to really enjoy that feature. Yeah, I want to be a hero, just like the masked guy. You think I can be? Well, anything's possible. But you know, being a hero without a quirk is rather dangerous, Bruce. Aw. Now, don't go crushing his dreams. I believe if anyone could be a splendid hero, it'll definitely be you. By the way, when's Alfred going to arrive? Oh, I sent him away early, Martha. What? Well, why would you do something like that? Because he's been working for so long, he needed some time off. Besides, all we have to do is cut through that alleyway and we'll be able to call a taxi. It'll be a lot faster than walking around the bend. Are you sure? I hear it's awfully dangerous this time of night. There's nothing to worry about. As long as we stick together, we'll be in and out in a jiff. Hands up, don't move. Huh? What the? Stay back. What are you? Please. I said shut up. Hand over everything you got. No need to try to play hero here. All right, fine. Just leave my wife and child alone and... Wait! Thomas! Don't! Oh! Thomas! All right. I thought I warned you the first time. Please, don't hurt my son. Please, just... Oh! Mom! What the... What did you do? The guy, he tried to jump me. I don't know, I just... Oh, you idiot! Just take it and go. Come on, get out of here! Mom? Dad? Mom, Dad, please. Wake up. Mom, please. Help. Help. Somebody help. Why am I seeing this? Izuku turned to see Bruce. Master, how are you? I'm never gone from you, Izuku. Even when you feel like you're at your lowest, you're never truly alone. But this memory, it's not mine. But you know my story. Why did I see it? Because, Izuku, this is where it started. My legacy. It all began here. Perhaps it wouldn't have been me. Someone out there could have been in this same situation. Perhaps they will be. There will always be darkness in the world. There will always be evil. However, we become the darkness that fight against that evil. When you put on the cowl, when you don the mask, you become more than just a symbol of fear. You are more than just a warning. You are hope. You are hope against the despair. Hope against the darkness. The light that will lead into tomorrow. That is who you are. It's who you've always been. And no one can take that away from you. So are you going to just lay back and die? Or are you going to stand and fight? Fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. You carry more than just my legacy. You carry the hope of the people. That is who you are, Batman. Izuku closed his eyes before opening them once again, finding himself in the darkness, but this time seeing a light. It was faint. It was far off. But he reached towards it. He wasn't sure what he was reaching in the darkness, but whatever it was, he was pulling himself back up. Slowly, reaching back once again, until eventually the light became brighter and brighter before he grabbed hold of it, dispelling the darkness all around him and finding himself in an empty field. He turned to see Deathstroke standing across from him, and right in front of him, a sword. Izuku would pick it up. It felt heavy, like the weight of the world was imbued into it. He felt like he could barely lift it. So you managed to come back. No matter. I'll finish you off once and for all. Deathstroke would come charging directly towards Izuku, who took his stance and readied himself. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if he lived or died. As long as there was breath in his body, as long as his heart still beat, then there was always a chance. The two would collide with one another, and instantly the room would reappear. Standing before Izuku, Raish Al Ghul. So, it seems you had more resolve than I gave you credit, and I thought for sure that you would have shrunk back in fear and let yourself give in. What was all of that? The demon trial. Your trial. A trial of the soul. It is different for each one that wishes to take it. Although I must say, the demon trial does not represent what it used to. Where am I? Who knows? Oftentimes I choose not to question fate, but I allow it to be my guide. Where I am, I do not know. Whether this is heaven, hell, or some form of purgatory. But it is where I dwell, on the edge between life and death. I used the Lazarus, lived for many lifetimes. And the result, I find myself here. I didn't think anyone would attempt to find me. And yet here you are, the descendant of the detective. You've come for my blood. Raish would hand a vial to Izuku. How do I know if any of this is real? How do I know I won't? In times like this, a hero must have faith, must he not? Faith. I cannot tell your future, what it lies for you. You will cross paths with my grandson. Personally speaking, I cannot say that I condone or approve of his behavior. For truthfully, I have no right to cast judgment. The only thing I do know is that you and him share a fate now. When it's all said and done, both of you will stand before me. And only one of you will join me to the other side. Till then, continue to grow, continue to improve, and I pray that the spirits be kind. The room would change once more. Izuku found himself back at the start, almost as if nothing had changed. But yet he held the vial that he needed. Izuku would leave the room to be greeted by Nyase, Cassandra, and the former guardswomen of the League of Assassins. You made it. You sound surprised. A little. It is not easy to confront the demon trial. But if I was taught anything by my father, it is to always have faith. and it seems you've gotten what you've come for. I have, and I don't have much time to waste. My liege, one of the warriors, speaking to Nayase, there appears to be commotion at the old church. It seems that the medical team has gone missing. The medical team? Izuku would ask. What's happened to them? Hard to explain. It seems as though different people from the various warring gangs, they appear to be working together. It's odd. They should be against one another, and yet they seem to work perfectly, dragging off the various doctors and guards to different locations all through the city. I believe that there is someone else at play, another force looking to make themselves known. All that was left behind was this. The guardswoman would hand her what appeared to be a trophy. It was green and in the shape of a question mark. This looks like it's the work of the Riddler. The who? The Riddler, a famed super criminal from the old days, Nayase would say. I need to find them. You need to get the cure. We will deal with Nigma. Cassandra. Nayase would look towards the silent warrior. You will take point in finding the missing medical team. The girl would bow, taking a few guardswomen with her as they left for the surface. In the meantime, you must get the cure to Freeze in order to save the people of Gotham and to save this city. You're right. What about you? You are the last person who will be taking this trial. I will leave only when this section of Lazarus has been destroyed permanently. And then I will be off. I know that it must be against your code, but I have my own plans of dealing with my nephew. I understand. I can't stop you, but I hope that you're... Same to you. And give Bruce my regards. Now go. Izuku would leave from under Wonder City, Bruce getting back in communication with Izuku once again. So, you managed to come face to face with Ra's al Ghul. How was it? He's definitely something else. And strangely enough, I have a lot of respect for him. It tends to happen. But you've gotten what you need, right? Yep. I'm on my way to the GCPD building. Has Freeze gotten back there yet? He's arrived, safe and sound. Likely he's setting up shop. Though be careful. Joker's crew seem to be making their way towards there as well. Likely he thinks you've double-crossed him. But why would he think that? He's insane. Now hurry. Understood. Izuku, as he was making his way to the GCPD, would scour through some recent voicemails that he had received. So, you and your friends are working in cahoots with the snowman, eh? Well, just try and get back to the GCPD. I have my boys waiting in the wings. As soon as they see your pointy little ears, they're gonna blow your stinking head off for double-crossing me. You youngsters will learn not to cross the joke. Dealer, Didi, get Grandpa Jade his 6 p.m. pills. He's as eccentric as ever, Izuku thought, as he felt the coldness begin to shift in the air. as he made his way to the GCPD. This concludes My Hero Academia: The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 3, Part 6 of the Arkham City arc. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue with My Hero Academia: The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 3, Part 7. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time. Protocol 10 will commence in 2 hours.